sister, and today we're reading Saturnastra Karina, Lesson 6 on Hoarding, Part 1. As in having a lot of items in your house and stuff. A couple of days passed after the visit. Lucian was at the store minding his own business, literally, when Janus appeared with an annoyed look. Frowning, he said, "You, me, what, I'm not afraid of you," said Lucian, raising his fist. "If I wanted to hit you, I would not announce it," said Janus, frowning. "That sneaky for a preacher's son," said Lucian, smiling. Janus sat in a chair facing the counter, and he rested his head sideways on the table. Pouting like a little brat, he said, "I do not even know why we are anymore. It's all one big mess." "How so?" asked Lucian. "Well, Marduke gave Father a position to test him, or to trap him, and lo, his punishments start getting cruel and usual, and now he is planting daisies, and with a hat that says, 'I did this to myself,'" explained Janus. "Well, if he did this to himself, then there is nothing that can be done," said Lucian, patting Janus on the head, like his father's getting publicly humiliated by planting daisies with a hat. Sitting up, Janus said, "I know, but it's such a strain on the family, and Father looks like the soul has been sucked right out of him." "Maybe they did take his soul," suggested Lucian. "You know, something that I don't, because if it did happen, king or no kid, Flamen is my father, and I can bear to see him humiliated like this," said Janus. "Then don't look. We almost paid for our crimes. At least this is what Marduke is trying to do. He overstepped his bound, and now he's paying the price. At least he's planting daisies instead of pushing them up, if you catch my meaning." You know, like pushing daisies up is like being dead. "Yes, punishment-wise, there's nothing corporeal about it, but Marduke says it will last till he learns his lesson," said Janus. "Oh, I see. So it seems like it is a forever type of deal. Oh well, it is just as good a time as any for you to step up and be the man of the house," said Lucian. "I don't wanna... And that isn't what I came to talk to you about." "Did you touch her?" asked Janus. "Who, Karina?" "Just her box, nothing more," said Lucian thoughtlessly. Janus jumped over the counter and he started punching and choking Lucian while saying, "I'll kill you!" The one-sided fight was eventually broken up by Lucian's mother, who came with a broom and did a serious number on Janus. The young men then went to school extremely sore. Karina smiled when she noticed the state of the youth. She said to them, "I will heal you guys, but my healing methods are a bit painful, and I don't really feel like it." Yeesh. "That's why even mention it," she says. "Why even mention the ability if you don't plan on using it?" said Lucian caustically. "And we in a foul mood today," said Karina. "Anyhow, we have a new weirdo today who has nothing better to do on a Saturday." "Saturday," said Letordus. On that day he was advertising baby clothes, so he was sporting a bib and a bonnet. The weirdo in question had the hidden appearance of a 15-year-old, though his true age was 32. He went by the name Jonathan, but Karina knew that his true name was Piccolina Astrabia.
What?
He was a fellow goblin who was orphaned at the age of 13. He had been raised by a family of rabbits. Recently they had moved into Veragerung because the king was there. It seemed like the safest place to be, considering the turbulent state of the kingdom. At least there, the food markets were full. The rabbits, like Piccolina, were pretending to be humans using magic. These rabbits walked on 2 feet, like Alice's white rabbit. Their ears were like the English flop, with body type like flesh rabbit. And they are a class of trickster creatures, along with foxes, raccoons, and other illusionists and shapeshifter creatures that have survived by pretending to be something they are not counting our alien allies. The non-trickster animals are raccoons, foxes, coyotes, goats, frogs, dragons, wolves, chevrotians, peacock spiders, and agala lizards. There were some non-squids on land as well, but the whole pretending is more of a land-dwelling problem. The ocean is large and vast, so the marine creatures can give each other enough space. At times Karina wondered if she should turn her back on land dwellers and go live with the winged squid monsters and their silly little monoliths. In answer to Letordus' questions, Karina said, "In my home, we used to name the days of the week. The first day was Monday, then Tuesday, and so forth. The sixth one was called Saturday. Due to the day aspect of the name, people used to use the names of the weeks in songs often. We should name our days, and then make all the other hosts do so that we can write songs about them, suggested Bobby. So, yeah, sure, let's make the class about that, shall we? For the time being, I thought. I mean, what are we doing with our time as of lately? Inquired Karina. Bobby so cheaply said sorry. So yeah, the new weirdo. Where is he? He's standing at the door waiting for his balls to grow, said Casimir constantly with a grin on his face. Look, weirdo, this is just a little get-together, not a real class. You're not going to get a bad grade or a demerit or nothing for coming. But you are going to look rather foolish for woosing out, said Reggie, getting up and opening the door for the fellow. Time?
9 minutos.
Come in, my goblin friend, said Karina, gesturing to an empty seat. Piccolina flinched and started to run down the stairs. It was then when Reggie and Barbizel started making chicken noises. After getting down a couple of flights, the echo of the chicken noises forced Piccolina to return back to Karina's doorstep. Frowning, he said, "How did you know?" "A little bird told me." Or, to be more specific, Gigas the cockatoo told me. "That's the last time I trust a wild bird to keep my secrets," said Piccolina, folding his arm, feeling rather foolish. "Well, since we all know, you might as well drop your mask," said Casimir. "You first," said Piccolina. What the goblin said made all the students stare at Casimir. Casimir simply shrugged his shoulders, not understanding the implications of what Piccolina had said. As far as Casimir knew, he was a regular human who lived with his grandparents. "It's fine. If we all started dropping our masks here, you will be the first to run away, my dear Casimir," said Karina. Casimir, said Casimir in low whispers. Nodding his head to Karina. "I suppose so." "Don't worry your pretty little head about it," said Karina. "Today's class is a little simple. I am going to take you to Aragon, and we will learn when it is right to kill your fellow man." "What? I don't want to hurt anyone," said Bobby. "And besides, I can go there. I have the baby with me." "Some of the best assassins in the world are mothers who bring their babies out on the job. Nobody ever suspects of a nursing mother," said Karina, smiling. "What kind of a sicko does that?" asked Letodus, getting up. "So the man has a pulse. It is nice to see you alive and well," said Karina sarcastically. "I am a merchant, not a killer. Good day, madam," said Letodus, starting to depart. Karina saw him leave, and she shook her head sadly. "Now that is such a pity. In an ideal world, there would be no need for death, but as things stand, evil triumphs because the good are too nice to do what must be done. I am alive because my mother and my uncle chose to fight back against injustice, and they did not stop till every one of those evildoers were dead." "If you do that, won't you be fighting an endless war?" asked Janus. "Not with that attitude, no. It is as if you inhabit a garden overgrown with weeds. At first you think you will never get rid of it in tip-top order, and it may take many years, centuries even, but eventually you will succeed. It all comes down to the life you want to live, and what you're willing to do to make it happen," said Karina. "Still, I do agree that killing is the caveman solution to most problems in life." "Caveman?" asked Letodus. "Drunkards," said Karina. "Ah," said Letodus flatly. "Time?"
6 minutes.
"Still, it would not hurt to at least make yourself strong enough to live the way you want to, without allowing others to interfere. There is always a fellow out there who wants to over-egg your pudding, and then there are others whose pudding one should over-egg, like slave drivers. Yes, let's go to Aragon and crack down on slavery a bit. That is an evil that we all agree should be stopped," said Karina. "I don't know," said Janus, uncertain. "What do you mean you don't know?" said Karina. "Get out of my class." Karina then picked up a chair and threw it out with Janus on top of it. The chair broke, and when it landed, Janus got hurt on the elbow really badly. Karina, realizing what she had done, came to him, and she healed him with her power. She said while dusting him off, "I'm sorry, I sometimes forget myself." "That was certainly uncalled for," said Janus coldly. Karina sighed and said, "Good Lord, I am going to be planting daisies for months now." "Why?" asked Janus. "If someone hurts you over petite nonsense, then you have the right to kill that fellow. Nobody has the right to hurt another for something stupid that is improper. Where can I have another fellow? Not words spoken in public. That inspires the acts of stupidity. And then, and just then, it is allowed for a head or two to roll." capiche, said Karina. I don't capiche nothing, said Janus, not knowing what capiche meant. He was getting tired of Karina inserting words that didn't belong to the established language of the land. Well, I say, preacher's son, that you start here telling your flock that it is alright to eat fat babies. And eventually, when enough people buy into that nonsense, it becomes socially acceptable practice that nobody questions. There are a lot of evils in this world that are like that. Remember, just because something bad is allowed, doesn't make it right. Good and evil is simple. It is bad men who try to convince you to engage in their behavior, said Karina. Time?
4 minutes.
Why do those people try to change your way? I never got that, asked Casimir, who was listening by the door. The why varies from person to person, but overall it is born from the same type of spirit. The spirit of a fellow that cannot be happy unless if the world thinks and acts the way he so desires, said Karina. So is the spirit male or female? Not at first. You add enough shells onto a spirit and it eventually becomes unrecognizable. She added, but we are not talking about the metaphysical discussion here. As far as people are concerned, the worst type of person out there is not a serial killer, but a politician. Hardy hard, said Casimir. So are we doing this in or what? Fine, let's go, said Karina. Karina guided her students to a mirror in the storage closet. The mirror had a candle burning in front of it. Karina brought out a skull from beneath her cape. She said to her students, if you stare at the skull long enough, you will find yourself in Aragon. The skull was ornamental with floral patterns and gems and 2 large eyes made of Murano. The students were at first reluctant to stare at the skull, but Janus decided to oblige since he had nothing planned this afternoon. Visiting Karina was more of a hobby at this point than a necessity of learning. After 5 minutes, just about all the students were somewhat looking at the skull with their eyes. When they lifted their gaze from the skull, they saw that they were indeed outside in the pestilent city of Aragon. Dear God, it stinks, said Piccolina. Time?
2 minutos 40 segundos.
I'm starting to remember why I left Aragon for good, said Carmeta. I heard about the smell, but I always thought it was an exaggeration, said Babiso. Looking about, he asked, where's the baby? Oh yeah, the baby was not looking at the skull, said Karina, remembering. Well, send me back. Periwinkle cannot be alone, said Babiso, taking the skull from Karina's hands and staring at it. Babiso heard the crying of the baby, and so did the student. Well, we haven't really left the classroom. This is more a bit of an abstraction, said Karina. A what? Asked Babiso. Teleportation through the medium of hypnosis. I'm very good at hypnosis. If you give me a minute, I can send you back, said Karina. I don't need a minute. Send me back now, said Babiso. Fine, nag, said Karina, heaving Babiso on the skull with the skull she was holding in her hand. The mind blow to the head sent Babiso back to be with Periwinkle. Time, bro?
1 minute 30 seconds.
So what are we doing here? Asked Janus. We are here to see an assembly of people staging a protest, said Karina. A protest? Never seen one before, said Casimir. That's because nobody was ever stupid enough to do a protest in Veragerung back when King Bersamer ruled, said Carmeta. Now you got me curious. Let's see what those idiots are complaining about. Maybe there's something more day, like asking for money for a cause that rich people pretend to care about, suggested Lucian. Perhaps it's just an excuse to go looting, said Miko. Looting? Asked Janus. Yes. Many protests in the ancient past started off fun and good, but it degraded to looting. Though in my day, it was the soldiers robbing the merchants because they were out of money, and they were not allowed to go into the brothels or get married, explained Miko. Time?
1 minute.
I get the first, but the other two seem a bit arbitrary, said Janus. It often happens among priests that they are forbidden an action that they can no longer perform, said Lucian. What, got something to say to me, said Janus? Alright, we'll leave it here. Bye-bye.